It's a beautiful day on the banks of the Cumberland River here in Nashville, Tennessee. About a mile away from that beautiful spot is Memorial Gymnasium, the historic arena for the Vanderbilt Commodores, where today they will host Texas A&M. And if you were to look at the matchups right now, this would be a nice 4-9 NCAA tournament matchup. So two teams certainly hoping that they can continue down this path. Well, as far as the SEC path goes, everybody's chasing Florida right now. The Gators playing at such a high level. But Vanderbilt and Texas A&M in a 5-way tie for third. They are still in a hunt, certainly for an SEC championship and one of those top 4 seeds, double buys for the SEC tournament. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. This is former Missouri All-American and NBAer John Sunvold. And John, who would have thought here, as we have about a month left of the regular season and SEC tournament season, that these two teams still right now in the very thick of this race.
And two teams, Vandy comes off one of the best wins of the season at Auburn on the road. A&M, they've lost 3 in a row. They've got to kind of find their traction, get back to what they were doing about 2 weeks ago.
Well, Texas A&M plays a lot of players with this style under Bucky McMillan, and perhaps the guy that's been the most consistent is right here in Rashawn Agee.
The guy that they list at 6'8", Dave, but that's stretching it. But he's physical inside, outside. He is a vocal leader on both ends of the floor. And when we talk about leadership and we think of Vanderbilt, Tyler Tanner has elevated himself to maybe being a first-team all-league player in the SEC. He's fast, he's quick, he shoots it, and his motor never quits. If he has to play 40 minutes, he'll play 40 minutes. Now, here's the key. A&M's going to try to get the ball out of his hands. Can one of his teammates pick up the slack?
Boy, Agee's just had a remarkable SEC campaign, averaging nearly a double-double in conference games. Meanwhile, Tyler Tanner has been just been stellar all season long, scored double figures every single game and averaging almost 26 per game over his last 5. A lot at stake today, and clock didn't start.
Well, I was ready, Dave. I'd have started it.
I could tell.
I mean, let's just, flip the switch. Come on, guys.
If people would see your pregame stretch routine, they would know that you're ready.
Here's what's great. A&M comes, we mentioned, they've lost 3 in a row. The last 2 ball games, a physical, tough Florida team, right? That's a challenge. A much taller Missouri team was a challenge. Today, A&M, Vanderbilt's not a long, tall team. This could be a game that's in the 90s, the way both teams will get up and down. And again, at home, Vanderbilt will like to push the pace themselves.
A&M third in the conference and scoring at 90 points a game. Vanderbilt 5th at 88.7 points a game. They go right to Agee. Uses the rim as a shield and gets it to go down.
Score a bucket, quickly pick up full court pressure.
Tyler Tanner, almost 19 a game, 3.5 rebounds, over 5 assists per game. Dump it inside. That one goes to Jalen Washington. He can't convert. Boy, the key for Vanderbilt today, talking to Mark Byington, is they better be ready to get back defensively, even on missed shots. Aggies want to go, go, go. A unique scout, he says. Unique preparation today.
And they're #1 in the league at 37% three-point shooting. So they'll push it. When their shooters catch it, they will shoot it right away. Defensively, A&M switches a lot of things. First possession, Vanderbilt got to look inside on a mismatch. Missed it, and also Tanner misses an easy one there.
Couple of nice looks for the Commodores out of the gates. Can't get him to convert. Here's Marcus Hill, the grad transfer. Hill steps back and knocks home a 3. He's just 26% on the year. That's just his 15th of the season.
They will not be bashful.
Bucky McMillan obviously has changed things around. Not just the mentality, but the style of play for Texas A&M in his first season.
Probably couldn't be any more opposite of Buzz Williams' style last year. Buzz used to walk it up the floor. They kind of had the soft 3-quarter zone defense to wear clock off from an opponent. Good hands defensively.
That was poked away by Marcus Hill. Aggies average about 9 steals per game, 3rd in the league.
And Lane will like this matchup. Okereke probably can't stay with Lane. If the ball gets back to him, he can take him off the dribble.
Shot clock down to 7. Griffin dumps it inside. Agee faces up. Step back, and if you're Vanderbilt, you'll take that shot from Agee every time down the floor. There's Mark Byington. How about back-to-back 20-win seasons? First time Vanderbilt has done that since the 2011 season and the 2012 season.
Well, 20 wins already, Dave. Their regular season, best regular season back in 92-93 at 28-6. So they're on track if they can finish this next couple of weeks and then have a little bit of a run in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Won 4 of their last 5 after a 3-game skid. Aggies would like that same trend to happen for them in the midst of their 3-game skid. Okereke, nice look inside. McLaughlin, that is the 3rd little chippy at the rim. That's a chippy for Tyler Nickel.
Nickel will not be bashful, not afraid. He's an aggressive type player, an aggressive type shooter.
Dominguez. See if that one doesn't get him going. He has really struggled the last few games. 4 of 22 over the last 4 behind the arc.
Might be the biggest signal for A&M for them to win. When Dominguez shoots the ball well, Dave, they have been fabulous all season long. Now, his shooting slump really been the last 4 or 5 games. You see the last 3 games, 2 of 14 beyond the 3-point line. Go back 6 games ago, he had a 4-game stretch. LSU, Auburn, Oklahoma, Tennessee. He made 4 threes in every one of those games. He's in a little bit of a lull. The first one went down. Let's see if that continues this afternoon.
Free throw is good from A.K. Okereke. You and I were just talking, admiring this young man. 3 years. That's all it took him, was 3 years to get a degree from Cornell. Now he gets to come here as a grad student
for Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Somebody, A, you're getting paid. B, somebody's paying for your school, and you're going to end up with a degree from Cornell and another one from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Wall Street is on line 1 for that young man.
Wall Street didn't call me.
And that's why we're sitting here.
Loose ball. Taken away by Chandler Bing. Tanner, bounce pass underneath. Well, that's an easy one for Devin McLaughlin.
So you notice right away, A&M's pressure is all the time. Make, miss, doesn't matter. They're always going to pick up the basketball.
Lane gets a big screen from Agee. Can't get the shot to go. Tapped around a couple of times, and the Commodores will have it.
Good play by Nickel to hand it off to Tanner. Get set into something offensively.
Nice bounce pass to a cutting Tanner. High off the window, won't go, kept alive. Swinging around, Tanner in the corner. Agee popped out on him, and Tanner took him right to the rack.
Tell you what, offensive rebound, 2nd or 3rd chance possession. That is what has taken away from the win column for A&M last few ball games.
Rebound McLaughlin. Up to Nickel. Okereke reverse layup.
Wow, what a hoop. Vanderbilt not having any problem getting to the rim, getting high-quality shots. Now they are converting versus their first 3 possessions.
Foul against the Commodores will get us to our under 16 media timeout. 8-0 run by the Doors.
The pace is great up and down. The Doors have gotten good looks around the rim. Finally, A.K. Okereke with acrobatic finish.
Time to take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Daisy. And for that, we'll focus on A&M's Pop Isaacs, who in SEC play, averaging 22 minutes off the bench, double-figure points, 11.5 per game. Scored double-figure points in 8 of 11 in the conference. And they're going to need a little pop here as Vanderbilt has gone on an 8-0 run. But Pop Isaacs is one of those guys. And that's the thing about this A&M team. They'll play 11 guys. So you're going to have your shot every night. It's not like you're going to be, if you're the 9th, 10th, 11th guy, you might get a couple of minutes and you better make the most of it. You're going to play.
Yeah, you're going to play and you're going to get your minutes. And Pop Isaacs is the kind of guy when he comes in. All freshman team in the Big 12 at Texas Tech, couple of years there. Last year, Creighton got injured, only played 8 games, but a guy that can ignite this A&M team. I would say that Bucky McMillan is not too pleased yet defensively. I think Vandy's getting too many easy looks around the rim.
And again, part of that rotation, that 11-man rotation, producing 37 bench points, second best in all of Division I basketball. So we'll see Papa Isaacs on the floor. We'll also get to see Zach Clements on the floor. Zach coming off a nice game against Missouri with 20 points.
Yeah, his best game as an Aggie, a guy that's got confidence. If he makes one, he can make a bunch. Good matchup with Tyler Nickel and Clements.
Shot clock down to 4. Isaac's going to have to create something, and first shot off the back of the rim. And a scramble for it, pulled out of there by the Commodores and Jalen Washington.
So, Dave, early on, you like defensively how Vanderbilt's staying in chest-to-chest for the A&M guys. After the first open shots, they've been very close. A&M not getting many looks.
Tanner misses that 3, chased down by Bing.
Commodores play at a fast, quick pace, their pace.
Mike James, who just checked in, takes it in the lane. Back to Tanner. Corner to Nickel. He's wide open for 3, and that one won't go. Up ahead it comes to Lane. Clements at 6'11". Spins in the lane over Bing.
Well, how much confidence did he gain in that win or that loss against Missouri? Shot it well, scored well, played inside, outside in that game, and they need his confidence to continue.
Young man out of San Antonio, Texas. Here's Nickel. Pull-up jumper inside the arc is good. That's a 2.
And the value of how Nickel shoots the basketball, he can shoot it straight ahead. He can shoot it off the bounce. He's aggressive with his dribble. And because of his size at 6'7", he can get shots off against most defenders.
Boy, nice drive. Ali Deba averaging over 5 points a game. Wide open is Washington, and he is sandwiched between 2 Aggies. Pick which one you want for the foul.
Lack of communication on the back end by A&M. Defensively, nobody had Jalen Washington by the rim.
Zach Clements will pick up the foul.
In the game Washington had at Auburn, 22 points, 5 rebounds. Hit a couple, 2 of 2 beyond the three-point line. He does not make many threes, but he hit them in the jungle.
Well, we are just getting started here on the SEC Network. A quadruple header of men's basketball games today, capped off by these two tonight, LSU and Tennessee at 6 Eastern. And then South Carolina taking on Alabama as we wrap up what will be a busy day. So Washington misfires on both of those free throws. He's 74% at the line. Isaac's trying to find a little bit of room, create some space as he gets bumped by Washington. Benson spins in a traveling violation.
Another good defensive possession by Vanderbilt. They are not getting beat off the dribble, Dave. A&M having a hard time getting around the first defender. And if they don't, then they get bogged down in their half-court sets.
Talking to Mark Byington yesterday at practice about his team. He says, you know, when we're good in the half-court defensive area, we are a really elite team, because he feels like his offense is going to be there.
But you think back in December when they had Duke Miles and Frankie Collins, that three-guard rotation. Now Miles, they hope to get him back. Every game, I think most Vanderbilt people think, well, this could be the game, or maybe we'll be at Missouri next Wednesday. Frankie Collins still question marks, big question marks.
Vanderbilt at Missouri in their midweek game coming up, and wouldn't be surprised if we see Duke on the floor for that one. Tanner off to Washington. Here's Chandler Bing, the freshman out of Atlanta. Okereke back to Bing. He fires for three. A little too strong. Long rebound. It'll be a couple of Aggies battling for when that bench erupts. Like, hey, man, that was your own teammate.
Vanderbilt's got a couple guys, one being Chandler Bing, who just missed that shot. If he can get his shot going, the other one being Tyler Harris. If Tyler Harris can get his shot going, would sure help Nickel and Tanner get a little more open looks.
Nickel getting a little physical in there with Pop Isaacs.
And neither one are going to give an inch personality-wise.
Corner three, high arching shot, no good. Boy, great rebound by Okereke. Poked away by Vincent, now back to Harris. That one is stripped by Hill.
But terrific hands.
There's Pop Isaac knocking home the three.
So Hill makes a strip, Dave, and then he brings it down the court, and his eyes went to Clements, and the defense went to Clements, and he makes a pass to Isaac wide open.
Washington. In and out. Harris had a good look at it. 29% on the year. Marcus Hill. Isaacs. Diva fires, no good. Vanderbilt shooting 35%, 5 for 14. A&M 6 for 13.
And A&M doing a good job on the ball handlers.
Tanner in the lane, left hand a little too strong. Clements was there to kind of disrupt the shot. Chance now for A&M. Isaacs to the rim, missed the layup. Rebound by Diva.
First time, Dave, I noticed Tyler Tanner a bit winded, slowly to get back on the defensive end.
They are trying to shut out Tanner from getting the basketball. Harris will try another three. This one's too strong. Tapped around a couple of times and a foul. That's going to go against Vanderbilt. Texas A&M up by 4 on the road. Midway point of the first half. break it down in like those 4 or 5 minutes, that was definitely an Aggies victory. Speaking of victories right now, both these teams have enough to get into the Joe Lunardi projected seed list. Vanderbilt as a 4 seed hanging on. They're right now just on that cusp, and I think they're trending in the right direction. Meanwhile, Texas A&M trending in the wrong direction, having lost 3 in a row. They're hanging on as a 9 seed. The team that I certainly look at right now is Georgia. Georgia has had some tough losses. They're in a tough stretch right now, and they're kind of getting in that scary zone. Meanwhile, Missouri's kind of played their way into the last 4 in.
Yeah, Missouri's been on a little bit of a roll. You know what? There's so much basketball left. You got 3 weeks of games that will determine, right? If you get on a roll, you can jump up quite a bit. If you get on the other side of that, when you're in a league like this one, every game is difficult. You know, when people talked about Oklahoma coming in here and beating Vanderbilt, well, Dave, you and I have seen Oklahoma. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, they've lost a lot of games in the last few possessions. But I think both of these teams, again, A&M trying to get back on track in the winning column. Vanderbilt coming off that win at Auburn. Now, can you maintain it on your home court?
Dominguez back on the floor for A&M out of that timeout. Rylan Griffin also checked in with Josh Holloway.
And is it not amazing how much we talk, whatever you want to talk about someone's style, the way things go, it's if you shoot the ball well, you're going to play better. I mean, we're looking at 2 teams. You know, Rylan Griffin, if he gets his jumper going, that's a big difference. If Dominguez gets it going, A&M's a totally different team. On the other side, Nick, we've got to make shots. And the guy who came out, Tyler Harris, got to make shots for Vanderbilt to be good.
Yeah, Harris had a couple of really nice looks in his little run a few moments ago. Just couldn't get him to drop. As a matter of fact, Vanderbilt just 1 of 8 to start this game from behind the arc.
Very similar to their start against Oklahoma in this building last week.
Started 10 of 26 in the first half shooting the basketball. Ooh. And they are 5 of 17 right now. Quick turnaround, too, for Texas A&M.
Yep.
Had a Wednesday late game and had to get on the road here to Nashville for the early tip.
Shot clock again.
It's at 3. Okereke. There's McLaughlin, offensive rebound. Boy, had great position underneath.
And we have seen that for a couple years from Devin McLaughlin. Solid, physical, knows how to play. Maybe the heart and soul of this Vandy team.
Loose ball on the deck, and Doug Schau says we will tie it up, but it'll belong to Vanderbilt.
Never surprised when you see Devin McLaughlin just doing early work. As you could see inside, he put his body right into AG. Again, 2 guys that really mimic each other, both physical, very smart, understanding how to play, very vocal, both guys with their team on both ends of the floor.
Vanderbilt with 7 second chance points early in this game as McLaughlin's coming off 12 and 7 with 3 assists against Auburn. Didn't miss a shot. 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from behind the arc, and 2 of 2 at the line. Okereke misses badly. Well, that corner spot hasn't been friendly to Vanderbilt here in the first half.
And they're getting looks, Dave, that they want to get.
Here's Hill backing up on Nickel.
Wow. Physical. Marcus Hill was not going to surrender any part of that floor to Tyler Nickel.
Mike James, Okereke, McLaughlin for 3. He's got it. How about Devin McLaughlin? He is now 20 out of 68, closing in on 30% for the year. And a reach-in foul against Mike James.
Score it inside, score it outside. We talked about his leadership. McLaughlin, we've got a good one here in Nashville.
Hey, women's basketball takes over the SEC network every Sunday. 4 games for you again this week, featuring 5 top 25 teams. Starts at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, with number 5 Vanderbilt hosting Georgia. Boy, how about the Commodores? They just rolled over Texas in their last game. Then it's number 14 Ole Miss, number 18 Kentucky, followed by 10th ranked Oklahoma and 23rd ranked Alabama at 4 days. Finally capped off by Auburn taking on Texas A&M. Here it's 19-18. Aggies out in front of the Commodores. And what is the 22nd meeting between these two teams? Vanderbilt leads it 12-9. Clubs have split the last 4. You know, used to talk about it's kind of like last 5 matchups, but now these teams change over so much, so it really doesn't have much of an impact. Dominguez left it short. Big rebound there by Griffin, keeping it alive. Hill's wide open. He misses.
Okay, Dave, it's now turned into a jump shooting game.
Why? Too tough to get in the paint?
Well, I don't think they're surveying the paint enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think A&M could attack a little more off the dribble. Vanderbilt has settled for long jump shots. Neither team shooting the ball well from outside.
Doug Schaus. Let's see if there was a timeout called with possession.
Foot's on the line.
Yeah, foot's on the line. Agee's foot was on the line.
Yep. I always like, Dave, they look over here, we give them the signal.
Yeah, give them the thumbs up.
I just gave him foot on the line.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
Will Howard telling us what the decision was. Doug Schaus, Will Howard, and Brian Dorsey are officials today. Tyler Tanner has not had much of an impact in this game. 1 of 6 from the field, a couple of rebounds, 1 assist, and he has had to work hard just to get it past the midcourt stripe. McLaughlin all the way to the rim, and he missed another layup.
Tanner double teamed in the backcourt. Quickly got to McLaughlin, who missed a layup.
Griffin fires, that won't go. Rebound to Vanderbilt. Up ahead. McLaughlin ahead of the field. Little snowbird and misses, but fouled in the process.
Snowbird, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't get all the way back, as you're saying?
Yeah.
I'll just hang out on the other end. Here's a little ball fake. He missed the last layup, and he's not happy with missing that one either. Yes, he got fouled, but he had a clear hand to lay that in.
That's, what, 5 shots right at the rim for Vanderbilt?
Yep.
Vanderbilt now 5 of 17 on their first shot offensively. Now, fortunately for them, they've had an opportunity to get offensive rebounds. 3 of their 7 makes have been on second chance opportunities.
The other part about distance shooting, we are now February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. But as the season wears on, do shooters' legs get more tired?
You tell me.
And most coaches don't go a lot, but you do get tired.
Yeah.
And depending how often you shoot, and have you trained yourself to shoot when you're dead tired, it's a different shot. You must shoot it a little earlier on the jump than you would normally.
Interesting. Bing, corner 3, and another miss. That's 4 or 5 of those from that same spot by a couple of different Vanderbilt players. They're getting a look from that spot.
Yeah, they are. And again, I think A&M's given certain players in a Vandy uniform the looks. They've had guys get the looks that haven't really shot a high percentage.
Commodores 2 of 11 from behind the arc. A&M 3 of 11 on 3-pointers.
And Bucky McMillan seemed very smart. They'll double team Tyler Tanner at times and make it get out of his hands. But never forget, Tanner's a kid that'll play most of the game, 38 to 40 minutes. And there will be stretches during the game that he'll have about a 10 or 12 quick.
Whoa! How about Tyler Nickel? He's not going to miss that one.
So much for jump shots outside. Pretty good crowd now has arrived here at Memorial Gymnasium.
Agee left hand, no good. Rebound Washington, up to Tanner. Tyler Tanner falling down. Nickel gathers and fires. Timeout, Texas A&M. It's a 10-0 Commodore run to open up a 6-point advantage. That'll get them on their feet.
He's got speed. Again, folks, this is 6'7". Physical, tough player. Likes contact on the defensive end. Doesn't mind if you want to bump him and start grinding. But there he is down the middle, and this is what he does best. Face up, and because he's more of a toe-raised jump shooter, legs don't have to be as involved in his shot as many others.
Nickel, the first player on the floor to reach double figures now. 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Boy, when he gets going, he is something else. Now 20 games in double figures, had a career high 30 against Central Arkansas when he hit 8 of 15 from behind the arc. Coming off 10 points against Auburn, didn't shoot it great, just 2 of 8. Hey, how about that? John Sunvold, 52% led the NBA back in the day. Is that the day? Can you say back in the day? Is that the day?
That was a day back then, yeah. No. All-Star weekend, aren't we? All-Star weekend. That's a pretty good year I had. 52-2.
Yeah, that would work.
That was pretty
That'll
good.
Get you a job at that level.
Kept me in the league.
Federico on the floor. Even now. Knocked out of his hands, taken by Bing. Kicks it back. Okereke, McLaughlin, Tanner. Nickel for 3, too strong.
The old building would have exploded, partner.
Bob Isaac's no good. Clements keeps it alive. Here's a second chance now. Back and Nickel down.
And again, his size, he ought to take advantage of that inside, and he has. He has scored a couple times inside.
That's going to be a foul against Texas A&M. That's going to go against Zach Clements.
Well, and a silly foul. Here's him going to work. Now, again, this is a modern-day player. He scored inside, and he's going to give a little shoulder shrug. As though that's a special bucket. And then he got a silly foul away from the basketball on Tyler Nickel, which then you put a guy at the free throw line, a high percentage free throw shooter at 83%.
17 fouls now against the Aggies. Only 3 team fouls against Vanderbilt. 4:42 to go here in the first half. Tyler Nickel, wrong guy to put at the line. Career 83% foul shooter. And as I say that, I mean, are you kidding me?
All you, partner.
That is unbelievable.
He made it when I said 83, so we're all good.
Clements working on McLaughlin. Vandy's half-court defense has been pretty solid.
Very good because they've got interchangeable parts. They switch a lot of things, and again, very mobile team. Wow, nice touch.
Ollie Deba knocking that one home. Boy, he's in John Sunville range, 53% from behind the arc.
Barely moved the net. Impressive.
Okereke. McLaughlin, this time short. Lane. Deba out of Stockholm, Sweden. Clements lost the handle, and he's fouled by Vanderbilt, and Mark Byington cannot believe it. Wow. That'll get us to our under 4 timeout. 26-24 Commodores. college baseball.
Man, baseball's already started.
Yeah, man.
You know when I'll turn it on is when we're done doing all the basketball. Just the way it is. It's hoop season. Good hands.
Fitch, by the way, just sent me a text, as he does.
Yeah.
Florida or the field for the SEC championship? Right now, I'm taking Florida.
All right, I'll go field.
Okay.
You mean I've got all the other teams?
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
I just think that
the only time that ever worked was Tiger or the field.
Yeah.
And you had Tiger.
Right.
It never works, does it? Field usually wins. Nice move.
Yeah, up and under move by Marcus Hill, taking it into the tall timber.
Hill's been very good today off the bounce. And when he's effective going downhill, A&M's been better offensively.
Okereke fouled. 2:53 to go. Tyler Nickel and Devin McLaughlin have scored Vanderbilt's last 17 points. Somebody else going to have to chip in.
Well, here's the thing. When you play with a guy like Tyler Tanner, every defense is now locked in on how Tanner plays. Good off the bounce, his quickness. And A&M has sent a couple guys at him to get the ball out of his hands. That allows freedom for other people to get open. Besides the two guys, Nickel and McLaughlin, the teammates for Tyler Tanner have not delivered.
And now you take out the 22 points, and now somebody definitely going to have to step up if you're Vanderbilt. McLaughlin and Nickel take a seat.
It's a pretty good roll of the dice by Coach Byington, isn't it?
Tell you what, Texas A&M has done a heck of a job of really disrupting Tyler Tanner's mojo in this one tonight.
Yeah. Well, we know this. He won't stop. He had a huge second half at Auburn. And because of how fast and the tempo he plays, he'll have opportunities. Another good move off the bounce by Marcus Hill.
Hill with another good take to the basket. He'll head to the free throw line this time around.
It never really settles for jump shots. And that's what you like about him, a true point guard that sets people up. But this is downhill, again finishing around the rim, not minding contact. Last 4 ball games, he has shot 64% from the field because he's been more of an attacking mode and not settle for jumpers.
Well, he's been in double figures 3 of the last 4 after having just one of those such games in the previous 7 outings. So he is playing at a high level and converts and ties this thing up at 29.
And Missouri did a good job on him, but again, the T.O. Barrett does a good job on him about any lead guard out front.
T.O. Barrett at Missouri has really busted onto the scene and has really propelled Missouri to where they are now, right in the thick of things.
Yeah, winner of 5 of 6, and because T.O. Barrett's so good on the defensive end and offensively, they've been terrific.
Okereke.
They're inviting him to take the shot. He took it, delivered.
He RSVP'd for that one, didn't he?
Pretty good.
8 points for Okereke. Hill again feeling it and got it to go. This guy, the last few trips down the floor has been so impressive.
One-man show on the offensive end.
Averaging 11 points overall. Up to 12 here in the first half as that one is off the rim. Rebound to Deba. Deba says, I'll just pick this up.
let me just grab it. I've done this enough. I've bounced it around enough.
Dominguez. Deba fires, no good. Easy rebound over there for Washington.
I was kind of hoping he knocked that in and give you a wink when he went by here.
Yeah, right. Cutting Nickel. Bing. Taps it in. Under a minute to go, first half. AG.
And he likes to go to work down low on that block.
Going to stay with Texas A&M.
Chandler Bing has gotten a lot of minutes with all the injuries, and the freshman has delivered. He's not a big scorer, but can do some work. We've seen him miss some outside shots. This time stayed with it. Good body, good size. 6'6", about 220. a lot lower scoring game, Dave, than I think we thought coming in here.
Deba cuts to the rim, fouled by Benny.
So think of this. A&M has not shot, neither team has shot the ball well from the outside, but A&M has been much more of an attacking mode to the rim the last 5 minutes of this first half.
A little different first half than their game against Missouri when they had 9 different players hit a three-pointer in the first half.
And when you watch that game, you thought, could that continue? And it couldn't quite continue. And then Missouri made the great plays down the stretch.
Deba at the line, just 33% on the year. 1 out of 2 there. Pop Isaacs will defend the basketball, which is being dribbled by Tyler Tanner, who has had one of his more quiet first halves of the season. Just 2 points and 2 assists.
And keep an eye on Tyler Nickel coming off some screens. Tanner sees a little bit of room in the paint, kicks it in the corner. Okereke for 3 and no good. And boy, push in the back. They're going to get Federico as he just shoved Washington underneath the rim. Yeah, Jalen Washington went up and then he went out as he went up to get the offensive rebound. Take a look down low. Federico with a push there, and then, you know, most bigs. Yeah, there's that left arm extended.
I think Washington sold that pretty well, too.
Yeah, he did. You know, his game at Auburn, 22 points, 5 rebounds. How about the stat line? 7 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 beyond the three-point line, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He only missed 1 shot the entire game.
Well, they get some offensive production like that from him to go with his defensive work, and Vanderbilt's on to something.
Well, and the big thing is, when does Duke Miles come back? They said he worked out hard yesterday. Is there a possibility Vandy will have him for the Missouri game on Wednesday? Averaging just under 17 points a ball game. And a big help to Tyler Tanner in the backcourt.
Well, Locken will check in. There is Duke. He's missed now what is the last 5 games. Averaging 16.5 points, over 4 assists per game. Hard to replace those numbers. Here's Lane, 1 second. Fires in and out. Well, we felt we'd have a close one, and that is exactly what we have. Wasn't the greatest shooting half of the season for either team, but nonetheless sets up for some fireworks in the final 20 minutes. 36-32 our score. Time to get you to the studio. Peter Burns, take it away, amigo. Commodores and Texas A&M. The 19th ranked Commodores right now a 4 seed. Texas A&M listed as a 9 seed according to our own Joe Lunardi. But first 20 minutes, we thought this would be a high-flying back-and-forth game. We were back and forth, but certainly wasn't high-scoring.
No, and I think of A&M basketball. They average 19 assists a game, which leads the league by a bunch, 2 or 3. They only have 6 assists or 4 assists. That means they're doing everything off the bounce. That's different than how they want to play. Vanderbilt has been a little bit not as good because Tyler Tanner, they've taken him away from their offense. So A&M's done a good job defensively. Pretty even game, but let's go to A&M. What has worked is off the bounce when they're not having assists. Marcus Hill has been the guy that's had to do it off the bounce. And late in that first half, last 5 minutes, he was aggressive with the dribble, so they didn't settle for jump shots. He scored it at the rim. On the Vanderbilt side, we already mentioned Tyler Tanner, only 1 of 6 from the field. But who picks it up? The other 2 guys that have been around the block and been here at Vanderbilt a couple years. Tyler Nickel, good first half. 11 points, shot it well. Devin McLaughlin doing McLaughlin-type things. Physical and inside, and can pop out and score it outside. 11 points, so 2 guys picking up. We'll see if Tyler Tanner can get it going on the offensive end.
2 of the best three-point shooting teams in the entire country have struggled today. Now, A&M averages about 11 threes, a little over 11 threes made per game. That is top 10 in the country, but you got to remember Vanderbilt is the best three-point defensive team in the conference.
Well, they've been good so far. I thought the first half defensively, both teams are pretty good. Now, can they maintain intensity on that end of the floor?
Aggies trying to break this 3-game losing streak. They had one 10 of 11 before this little slide. Trying to get that mojo back, and a quick foul right away as Devin McLaughlin picks up that foul. That'll be his 2nd foul. AG was really quiet in the first half.
And they went right to him to start the second half, and they're going to see if McLaughlin is, I'm going to say, is he tall enough to defend AG? AG likes to be physical. We already mentioned they list him at 6'8". I'm going to say 6'6", maybe. But he can go inside and post, and McLaughlin probably did a fine job with his body, but then had to reach towards the end, and officials are always going to call that.
AG scored the first points of the game, and that was his, since that first point, those were his only other points just a moment ago at the line. Good take there to the basket is Okereke.
Okereke went right down the middle, laid it in. Now, after talking with the coaches yesterday, that doesn't bother them a whole bunch. You just go back and get it on the other end.
Tanner slaps Dominguez across the bridge of the nose.
And Tyler Tanner's so nice, he said, "Are you okay?" And Okereke, right? I mean, he took it from the one end of the floor to the other end of the floor. No really help defense, just laid it in. Again, there are some coaches that would drive crazy. Not the guy that stands on the sideline for Texas A&M. So get it back in a hurry. Wow, that's where
Griffin misfires badly. Tanner on the run.
And this is the kind of game Tyler Tanner wants, to get out and speed. But what has A&M done? They've said, we'll let other guys shoot the ball. They double-team Tanner on the wing. Jalen Washington, wide right.
You know, that was kind of his heat check from last week. He was 2 of 2 behind the arc.
Right. Yeah. Watching Tom and Dane the other night, Dane was like, you know, maybe should shoot more, shoot less, shoot. No, there it is right there. That's how you, when you're in the 20 percentile around that area. Nice play.
Spin move by Miles. That one's blocked by Nickel. Into Frank Haith's lap.
Yeah, terrific catch by Frank Haith underneath. That's quick reaction.
Assistant coach for the Aggies now, former head coach at Missouri, Tulsa, among other places.
Good defense. Better catch underneath. How quickly, though, Vanderbilt got to Dominguez. Oh, nice play.
AG can't convert. McLaughlin off to Nickel. Boy, it has just been a difficult task to get Tanner the basketball in the backcourt.
Again, they really don't. If you think about Vanderbilt, without Duke Miles, without Frankie Collins, I mean, Tanner's all by himself. And A&M knows that. So they double team him, make him get out of his hands.
Rejected inside by Agee. Aggies back the other way. Lane to Hill. Again, takes it to the rim. How did he get that one to go? Didn't even see the rim.
Oh, my goodness.
Vandy wastes little time. Agee with a rejection.
And the game that A&M likes to play is this one.
Dominguez for three. No good. Rebound to Bing.
A&M wants this pace. We'll see how Vanderbilt responds. Also want to see how Tyler Tanner responds. Will he get frustrated or just continue to try to run the show for his squad?
Tanner bumps right into Lane. That was a big collision at the free throw line.
Defensively, saw one block on one end by Nickel, that one by Agee. Defending the rim.
Nickel from the corner. Got it. Rattles that one through the cylinder. Tyler Nickel now up to 14 points.
And a wide variety of shots that he can take and make.
Isaac's baseline.
Nice pass.
Oh, yeah. Nice pass on the baseline. That one finds Marcus Hill.
Nicely done on the bounce pass. And here's the key. The pass wasn't soft. It was a hard bounce off the floor right into the chest of his teammate.
Mark Byington tells his guys back it out. Shot clock hits 10. And a foul out on the perimeter on Pop Isaacs. That'll be his first.
Anytime you make a bounce pass to a teammate, bounce it hard enough so that it's right into the chest. Easy play for Marcus Hill. He just had to receive it.
Washington back to Nickel. He'll fire for three. Got it. Another one for Tyler Nickel. That's his fourth of the game.
And Dave, that's the second in a row moving to his left. He's much more comfortable going left to get his shot up. Easier.
James trying to defend Marcus Hill.
He made the one on the underneath out of bounds going left. Now watch this. He's going to take a little side step to the left side. Frees up that right shoulder. About the same spot. Remember, we were here a year ago. He hit the shot at the buzzer to send that game in overtime against Missouri.
Here's one thing I've learned. Tyler Nickel can shoot it.
He can shoot it. And he's not bashful.
Oh, Rylan Griffin saw a little seam and made Vanderbilt pay.
Scouting report on Griffin. Jump shooter, jump shooter, jump shooter. Rylan just changed that game, took it off the bounce.
Chandler Bean fires, rips the net. Now we're seeing some threes drop. Double team on the baseline. Thrown off of Vanderbilt. Good job by Zach Clements.
A great start to this second half. Both teams shooting it well. This time Chandler Bing steps out, rewards Tyler Tanner for getting double teamed. Vandy up 8 early. Second half.
When it ain't everything, it's the only thing. Ball hard.
Time to take a look at our All-State Good Hands plays of the day. Well, Vanderbilt's starting to find their rhythm from behind the arc.
Yeah, good movement. I think on all these passes, take a look at how open guys are, and they're moving without the ball. Nickel hits a 2. This time Tanner, again, there's a focus on Tyler Tanner defensively by the Aggies, and so when they collapse on him, can teammates make shots? Chandler Bing hit that one. They didn't shoot it very well the first half. Second half, they are 3 of 4 beyond the three-point line.
So we just got an update that Vanderbilt challenged that last play on the baseline, and it is a successful challenge, and Doug Shows will talk about it right here. Doug waiting for the band to stop, but I say, Doug, just go for it. Those that can hear you will want, those that want to hear you will hear you.
He's waving the band off. This is terrific. Hey, take control, Doug. He's going to control the whole building. Watch this.
After the challenge by Vanderbilt's head coach, they have won the challenge. It'll be Vanderbilt ball on the baseline.
Thank you, Doug. Oh, he's out of bounds.
Oh, big shot. That was perfect. No, wait till the band is finished.
Nickel. And leave him wide open.
And if you're him, why not? That's how you break pressure. Put one of your best shooters on the other end and throw it over the top.
Season high 20 for Nickel today.
A&M's got to have an answer. Mostly it's been Marcus Hill.
AG spins right into a double team.
By good defense.
And they're going to call a foul against one of those Commodores. That's going to go against Tyler Tanner.
So full court pressure by the Aggies, and look at this, hit ahead, and if you've got your best shooter on the other end of the floor, no hesitation, no ball fake, no nothing, just simply catch and release. And Tyler Nichols feeling good this afternoon.
Nickel with 9 this half. This will be our under 16-minute timeout. So 50-39 Commodores up by 11. Gymnastics takes over the SEC network every Friday night. We have another great doubleheader for you this week. Number 5 Florida squares off against number 6 Georgia. 7 o'clock Eastern from Stegman. Then number 17 Auburn hosts 3rd-ranked Alabama from Neville Arena. Both meets are also available, like everything else is, on the ESPN app. Well, here in Nashville, Commodores have opened up an 11-point lead. It is their largest of the game. They have found the range from behind the arc. Tyler Nickel is the one who's done most of the damage. 5 of 9 overall from behind the arc. And 3 of 3 to start the second half. And he has put together an SEC season high 20 points. His high this year overall was 30. That came against Central Arkansas when he knocked home 8 threes.
Well, somewhat open looks he's had this second half. His 3 threes that he's hit recently, nobody in his face. They'll have to start finding a way to challenge him like they've done with the other Tyler Tanner.
Nickel's 7th in Division I in three-point percentage, 21st in Division I in three-pointers per game.
And where does A&M find an answer in their half-court offense? Great help and recovery by Vandy.
Oh, nice little hesitation move by Clements, and he's able to kiss it off the window.
Remember, Clements can shoot it, so defenders are running after him. And when they go at Clements, he puts it on the floor, finishes to the rim.
Vanderbilt will set up their half-court offense with 18 on the shot clock, which is now down to 13.
That's a foul out front by Pop Isaacs holding Tanner's arm, and he's right in front of the official. I'm surprised they didn't whistle.
Mike James.
Nice pass, nice find.
Bain step back as the shot clock horn sounds. And Rylan Griffin is on the deck holding his face. Did the right hand, when he slipped, did the right hand of Mike James catch him in the face? Oh, the elbow did, right in the nose.
We have an official review of the previous play.
I would say it's a basketball play, Dave.
Yeah, there was nothing malicious.
Yeah.
And there's no certainly intent there. But don't tell that to Rylan Griffin, who just got hit across the bridge of the nose with an elbow.
And if you said perfect possession by Vanderbilt, you would be exactly right. Got movement, ball moved, the body's moved, and then Chandler Bing just delivered it right when the shot clock was winding down.
After review, we have incidental contact. We're going to play on.
I don't think that Rylan Griffin thinks there was a whole lot of incidental about that. He's hilarious. Sometimes.
It's the words we use today, Dave.
Rylan Griffin, a couple of years at Alabama, a year at Kansas before finding his way to College Station. Pop Isaacs quickly across the midcourt stripe. Texas A&M down 11. Got to find some offense. Agee up and under, left it short. Boy, frustrating day for Rashawn Agee. Averaging almost 14 a game. Taken away there by Diva. A little run out, 2-on-1. He'll bounce pass to Diva. Poked away by Bing. It's going to stay with the Aggies.
Vanderbilt bench trying to quickly see the replay on their monitor, but it's in play too fast.
Agee just 1 of 6 from the field. They'll kick it outside for 3. Clements can't get it to go. Nice hustle there by Diva. Well, Mark Byington says, where was the double dribble? Diva throws it up, trying to get some contact. Tapped it around, finally pulled out of there by Washington. He's got 7 rebounds. Alley-oop and a hold. I think Clemens was the one that was.
Yeah, Clemens came from weak side. I'd like to see that again. I'm not sure it's a bad play by Clemens. He read the thing perfectly. Here's what's on the scouting report. Jalen Washington is going to roll to the bucket. Yeah, I wouldn't really accept that if I'm A&M, that's a good whistle.
That's 4 on him now. Okereke spins by his advantage.
Okerke's got great patience on the offensive end when he settles in the low post.
Isaacs, no good. Agee, rebound. That'll be a foul on Mike James as he cuts underneath Agee. What is A&M missing right now? Like this 3-game skid, and now you're down by 13 here. It's certainly a long way to go. But what is the element that?
Well, the games are all different, right? Physical. They didn't have the physical presence against a Florida team or the height against Missouri. Missouri dominated that thing in the paint. When they were playing well, they shot the 3-ball so well. And they have not been able to get that back in the last couple of ball games to where they're just, now they did against Missouri early in the first half, but they couldn't continue the pace. Here's a guy right here with the ball that shot it so well early in conference play.
Bill misfires, gets back to Dominguez. He can't get it to go. Rebound to Chandler Bing. But we saw Chandler Bing early in the season. Again, beginning of conference play. He has just really developed as this season has gone on. Getting a lot more minutes because of it.
And David, you're not shooting the ball well. I mean, I don't care what style you play. If it's fast, if it's slow, if you're not making shots, you're just not as good on that end.
Again, I'll say it. A&M has been struggling from behind the arc, but they still average 11.6 three-pointers made. That is 6th in Division I. 2nd in the Southeastern Conference, only to Alabama.
And they are 4 of 21 this afternoon.
Tanner will head to the bench for a few moments. Matter of fact, he's still sitting on 2 points. Tied his season low first half points with those 2 points he had.
And you think about a team like A&M, it's not as though they have low post players that are just big time scorers inside.
Foul on Mike James. That is 4 on James now. That is the 6th team foul.
And the guards of A&M have pretty much been in attack mode, going downhill, trying to put pressure on this Vandy team.
Dominguez. Young man who played over 150 games of professional basketball in Spain. Trying to get past Nickel in traffic. Nickel grabs the rebound. McLaughlin won't go. Tapped around. And a foul as Harris chases down the loose ball. Foul against the Aggies. Vanderbilt holding on to their largest lead of the game right now at 13. 11:31 to go. Some of the numbers from Bucky McMillan's Texas A&M basketball team this year, they certainly got off to an unbelievable start in conference play. Part of the reason is he plays so many guys, and you have to in his system, but they produce almost 38 points a game off the bench, averaging almost 20 assists per game, 3rd in the country. But today, 5 assists for the Aggies.
If you don't shoot it well,
yeah, here we go again.
It's hard to get an assist.
Yeah, I got you.
And we're going back to that. It's the same thing that is, again, didn't hurt them against Missouri. They put up a lot of points. They just couldn't guard the Tigers. But other games, when you start struggling with that jump shot, and it's not going in, and I'm not going to put it on one guy, but Dominguez is not the same guy he's been. In the last 4 games, he's not the same guy he was early. He was making a lot of jump shots. Now, the great thing about a system that Bucky McMillan runs, you're never out of a game and you're never completely in control of a game, no matter really what the point spread is. But you can't let this guy open.
McLaughlin had his hand on it for a moment. Agee comes out of there with the basketball. Agee with 7 rebounds.
And what a good play design by the Vanderbilt staff out of that timeout.
Federico with a throwdown. See if that gives the Aggies a little spark here in the second half. Okereke.
And you always have to look down the floor. McLaughlin would have had a layup if someone picks their head up.
No foul, stay with Vanderbilt.
Federico doesn't score a lot of points, but strong enough, big enough inside if you find him. And again, Vandy doing a good job defensively this time. There's a breakdown. Easy finish by the rim. Can the Aggies get on a little bit of a run here and get this thing be close down the stretch?
Nickel back to Tanner.
Is that one of your favorite groups?
Yes.
I don't know if you did that.
Well, these two, Tanner and Tyler Nickel, have been fantastic all year. They've been fun to watch. Tyler Nickel today continuing his outstanding play. Tyler Tanner, though, having one of those frustrating games. Deep 3 with 2 on the shot clock from Nickel. Here's another opportunity.
You know, it's interesting. If Tanner doesn't shoot it quickly, he doesn't really get any open looks.
Tyler Tanner working against the big boys. He got that one to go over Federico. His first point since the 15:53 mark of the first half, and now he and Federico are going at it. Technical was issued.
This will be interesting to see who's the technical on.
Well, first of all, Tyler Tanner's probably frustrated because it hasn't been his day.
And he is. He's probably one of the nicest kids we have in the SEC, to be honest. But he's frustrated. He got away with a little bit of a hook against the big man inside. So watch his left hand on this. Frees himself up and dances a little bit. And then, okay, so let's see the action. Who are we going with? What do you think, Dave?
I don't know. Tyler Tanner has 3 fouls, though.
The previous action is under review.
We obviously don't know what was said, if Tanner reacted to something Federico said, but
it looked like Tanner said something.
yeah, and the big man just kind of went, Would you not be surprised if it was on Federico a little bit?
Well, they both gave it the old forearm shiver. I think we're going to end up with double.
Can we just go play on? Can't, because they already called.
They already called a technical.
Okay, so there's.
If they both did a little forearm shiver. I don't think anybody was hurt by it, but
I know. Ay, ay, ay. You're thinking both could get one.
yeah,
And you said Tanner has
3 already.
Yeah. It's a big call right here. Doug Shouds is going to go back and examine.
Well, it gives Bucky McMillan and his troops a chance to catch their breath a little bit. Bucky came in here with his team last night after they practiced yesterday in College Station. They came in last night and had about an hour kind of open gym shoot around. He just really wants to keep his guys as fresh as they can down the stretch because of the way they play.
Interesting about his
review, we have a double technical foul on 33 Texas A&M. And Vanderbilt number 3. It'll be Texas A&M's ball on the sideline with 29 on the shot clock.
Thank you, Doug.
Good call, partner. It's the safest way to do it.
Had there not been a technical call, I think they might have just said,
play on. Right. But since they whistled a technical, I always find it interesting, whatever official whistled it, who did he really call it on? You can review and then go, well, we'll play this safely.
Well, I think one of the questions now that you have to ask without Duke Miles on the floor, if Tyler Tanner was to foul out, who's your backup point guard?
Well, Mike James is now in the lineup. Okereke becomes, even though he's 6'7", more of a ball handler for this Vandy team. James is okay with the ball.
But if you're Texas A&M, you'd be licking your chops.
You're
right?
going at him. If you're this backcourt's got to be excited.
Lane. AG up and under move.
A tough shot. Here we go. Now keep an eye on the ball handling and who's strong enough and confident enough to get it up the floor.
Nickel tried to get it to McLaughlin. Knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Texas A&M. And Mark Byington says he wants to see this one more time.
And where does A&M go on their offensive end? They're going to go to Rashawn Agee to see if Vandy can stop him, and so far they've not been able to.
The previous out-of-bounds play is being challenged by the head coach for Vanderbilt.
What, that looked like Tyler Nickel was the last one to hit that. Maybe I...
Hey, you know, when you go slow motion, Tyler Nickel's hands are one pushing it this way. Does it glance off the left hand, left fingertips?
The other angle, the first angle we had made me think that it'll be Texas A&M basketball.
After review, the call on the floor has been confirmed. Texas A&M ball. Vanderbilt loses their challenges.
Tell you what, when this career ends for me, which could be today, maybe I'll get into the replay business. What do you think?
You know what? Put you on a chair right in the middle of the floor.
Let me just handle it.
With a screen.
Right, let me just handle it.
And then you just tell the officials, just give them an okay, thumbs up, thumbs down. You know, you wonder, because that was right in front of Mark Byington, if he thought he saw it differently. Like it was right in front of him. How many minutes can Coach Byington buy for his team with Tyler Tanner on the side? We'll see. All depends how good offensively A&M gets here in the next few minutes.
Griffin comes off the screen and pops that one home. And here's the double team on the baseline. They get it to Bing. And Griffin will trip up Bing.
Now, Ryland Griffin is a guy that can heat it up in a hurry. Catch, release, and this allows that press to get set. And when he delivers this one, there's confidence flowing. Mike James kind of got caught in that corner, but he got out of there. Very fortunate.
Okereke. James. McLaughlin. Good ball movement.
And a much-needed bucket. I think they've got to maintain this 10-point lead. and buy time for Tyler Tanner on the sideline. Oh my, how many steps?
They're going to say basket interference, I believe, against a foul. That's a foul against Federico. Federico said, on who? Well, it was on you.
Kind of like an offensive holding call. You can whistle a lot if you want to.
There wasn't a whole lot there.
Oh, my.
The pass being all the way to the rim. They're going to say it's Texas A&M basketball, and Bean just lost it out of bounds.
I know he lost it. But look at this pass. Very fortunate again. Nickel comes up with it. Here comes Bing.
Boy, Buck and Millen is like, throw the ball in, throw the ball in. Mark Byington lost his challenge when they lost just a moment ago on an out-of-bounds play.
Oh, you can't let him open. He just hit one. Vanderbilt very fortunate that Rylan Griffin did knock that in.
Another foul on Federico. That'll be his fourth. And that is team foul number 7, so free throws back the other way.
And we're talking about a Vanderbilt team that shoots 79% in conference play from the free throw line that leads the SEC.
McLaughlin, 77% foul shooter. By the way, it's kind of a alumni weekend here. You and I are both in awe of the number of ex-players that came. I mean, they just had...
I got 60 of them across there. Might have been family and friends also in there. Well, Tyler Tanner's been out about 3 minutes, and Vandy's maintained this 12-point lead.
Working hard. Crowd thought there was a travel in there. Here's some pressure, almost intercepted, and a collision. They're going to call that one against Griffin, and Bucky McMillan and the A&M staff up in arms. They felt like it was a 50-50 ball. 10-point game. 7:53 to play. Thank you, Peter. 60-50. This is going to come down to the wire, I'm thinking, here with 7:53 to play. You see the foul trouble for the Aggies. Griffin just picked up his 4th foul. He's still chirping, thinking that that wasn't a foul a moment ago. That'll send Bing to the free throw line. Tyler Tanner continues to sit. Thought he might check back in under 8, but they're going to sit him a little while longer with those 4 fouls.
Well, you don't need to, because it has really not gotten under 10. Vanderbilt has handled the pressure. They haven't turned it over yet. It's been a little sketchy at times. Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm impressed with this young man, Chandler Bing, how well he's handled things defensively and offensively. He just knocked in 2 free throws. Only a 55% free throw shooter, but let's be honest, he hasn't taken many. He's only taken 40 free throws so far this season.
He's been the benefactor of Duke Miles being out, getting a lot of his minutes, and a nice take to the basket. That'll get Marcus Hill to the free throw line.
Any guy out front that handles a basketball loves when a defender wants to body you, especially a bigger defender. And so Cherokee challenges Hill up front and early, and all of a sudden now you become, as a defender, you're really on the defensive because you're not in a position to make a play. A guy like Marcus Hill, been around the block or two, understands contact, understands how to use his body, finishes it with a terrific play and an and-one chance.
Marcus Hill, 2 years at Southern Union State Community College, a year at Bowling Green, a year at NC State, and now with Texas A&M, averaging 11 points a game, ties his conference high of 18.
Here's where pressure surprises most teams that play A&M. It's all the time. So on a missed free throw where normal teams are getting back, they don't get back. They defended full court. And so as Vanderbilt leaked out and left the teammates, you're really almost stuck. And now you've got nowhere. You can't move. You got the biggest guy on the floor handling the ball.
Timeout, I think, taken by 10 seconds. Mark Byington was jumping up and down in front of us trying to get the timeout.
They tried to hit somewhat of a home run ball, and they had it. But Jalen Washington didn't turn and look. He had a guy down the floor like about half court. They could have delivered. Tough matchup inside right here. Tough matchup for Bing.
AG left it short. Another opportunity for the Aggies. Isaacs.
Nice pass.
Oh, what a job by Hill to crash. And a good pass from Isaac. 20 now in the game for Marcus Hill.
Beautiful pass by Isaac as Hill came in from the corner.
It's down to 8.
And this is getting interesting, just bringing the ball to the floor. Again, Cherokee actually, he's a point forward. He can handle it. But not as smooth as if you had Tanner in there.
Boy, it's kind of scramble mode right now for Vanderbilt. Nice little pass. How about that? How about that? Well, Jalen Washington not going to be rattled after 3 years at North Carolina. Very patient on that possession. Found his teammate. Clements for 3. Rips the net.
Well, he's got a good release and a great stroke. And the Aggies want to put as much pressure as they can on this Vanderbilt team.
Second 3 this half for Texas A&M.
And this might be a wrestling match just to get up the floor by Nickel. Barely got it across.
Nickel all the way in. Foul, they're going to count it.
Clemens felt he got pushed. Nickel wrestles it up the court and then goes straight downhill. And McLaughlin kind of set a back screen that knocked Clemens into Nickel, and Nickel good enough to finish it off the glass.
That's 5 fouls on Clemens. His day is done, as he was a victim of that little shove by his teammate.
Well,
called for the trip.
And one of the things Vanderbilt does exceptionally well is when they turn the corner in a half court, or when you're close, McLaughlin sets more back screen. There'll be another screen, and he kind of cleared Clements out of there, and Clements basically just ran right into Nickel. Great concentration by Tyler Nickel to finish that.
Nickel at the free throw line. Rattles that one home. He's 2 out of 3 at the line. He is up to 23 points. Hill. Dominguez pull-up jumper, no good. Man, he just can't buy one.
No, and I think if Dominguez had to settle for that three-pointer versus taking it on the bounce and going in, making a harder shot.
Nickel, Okereke,
Got to give it back to Nickel. Got a guy in the corner.
taken away. Good read by Isaacs. Bean chases him down. Pop Isaacs with the lane.
Good read by Isaac. Bad read by Okereke. He had a number of guys open.
That's the 4th turnover by Vanderbilt since the technical foul on Tyler Tanner sent him to the bench. For the moment with 4 fouls. Okereke draws some contact in the lane.
So take the ball here. There was a player here open, and there's going to be one coming, but his eyes just stayed out front, out top. And Pop Isaac just read it all the way and makes it for an easy 2. They're in a scramble mode, Dave, and Vandy's kind of hanging on the best they can and keep making a play to keep this thing up at about 8 to 10 points.
Washington checks back in. 2 points, 8 rebounds. Aggies are now down 10 again. They keep cutting this thing to 7 or 8, and Vanderbilt responds.
Ryland Griffin back in the lineup, much more confident at knocking in the shot than Dominguez.
Griffin, high arching 3, no good. Hill, scoop shot, no good. James. Okereke. Washington. In and out. Rebound to Agee. He's got 10 of those with 7 points. Tapped around a couple of times and it'll belong to Vanderbilt. And Tyler Tanner about to check back in for the Commodores.
He should be rested. Missed opportunities by both teams on the offensive end. A good job by Mike James. The minutes he filled in for Tyler Tanner.
Vanderbilt led. 10.5 minutes to go in this game. 56-43. That's what the score was when Tanner left the game. He enters at 69-59. Commodores trying to close it out, see if they can. to Columbia, Missouri for their next game. Then they host Tennessee, a game that'll be certainly raucous in this building. And a date with Georgia and at Kentucky. I mean, that is not an easy stretch.
I was going to say, that whole thing looks difficult.
On the flip side for this Texas A&M team, remember, they're 7-4, tied right now with Vanderbilt for 4th place in the SEC standings. It's a 5-team tie in 4th place. This is what they have in store. A couple of road games coming up at Oklahoma and at Arkansas. Texas and Kentucky. Good news is for that, both those games are at home.
Texas A&M's head coach is successful. The A&M's ball on the baseline with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Good job by Bucky McMillan. You know, these staffs all have those iPads or computers, so they get immediate help from the bench on whether or not to challenge certain calls. And it pays off for the Aggies. Just a careless turnover by Texas A&M.
And what great hands by Jalen Washington.
There's a reach-in foul on Griffin. That'll be number 5. And Rylan Griffin, he'll finish with 5 points.
Not a good foul for various reasons. A, it takes you out of the ball game, which you're the best shooter on the court for A&M. 2, you put Okereke at the free throw line, 83% free throw shooter. So odds are it's probably going to make both of them.
You know, as far as three-point shooting goes, obviously Ruben Dominguez came in as their best in terms of makes on the year, but he is really in a funk right now. But now you lose Zach Clements and you lose Rylan Griffin.
Your 2 shooters, really.
Yeah.
And because Dominguez is not shooting the ball well, he's not in the game. He's out of the lineup. So A&M's going to go with really 3 smaller guards. Jakari Lane bringing the ball beyond Marcus Hill. You got Pop Isaacs. They're going to have to go quick off the dribble.
AG for 3, misses everything. He's like, well, if nobody's out here to shoot the 3, give me a shot at it.
There's a reason you're open, son. 21% three-point shooter.
Tyler Tanner will check back in. He was out on that last possession. I think we're going to see a lot of defensive, offensive switches with Tanner here down the stretch, just with those 4 fouls.
Now, what he's got to be careful of, he doesn't get a lot of charges. But a lot of times an offensive player, if you're out of control, you pick up an offensive foul. And the way he drives the ball inside so much, but he can usually stay away from that kind of trouble. Got to look up the floor.
Tanner.
Makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
It looks a little different with him on the floor.
Amazing how you look like a better coach when you got certain players in.
That's going to be a hold on Jakari Lane.
See, I think I'd rely on my defense. I know he's not trying to do it, but I'd rely much more on my defense than to pick up silly fouls. Now Nickel goes to the line. And when you have that hold, and the reason it's a bad hold where it is, it's right in front of the official.
Yeah.
There are places, if you understand where officials are supposed to be, that you might get away with grabbing jerseys, but not there.
Vanderbilt, since that technical foul, about 10.5 minutes, the double technical, 10.5 minutes to go in this game. Vanderbilt is now down to 12 free throws.
And A&M averages nearly 91 points a ball game. They're at 59.
AG fouled on the way up. Free throws coming for him. So you mentioned that point production. Is that more Vanderbilt being so solid defensively, or that Texas A&M, maybe their game plan hasn't really played out the way they anticipated?
Well, a combination of both, right? I think Vanderbilt's outstanding defensively. A&M did not shoot the ball well, and they've not shot the ball well from three-point line. Their shooters have not made shots, and that doesn't get you going. The other part is Vandy has not turned it over very much, and that has not allowed A&M to get breaks, get easy buckets. They've done a much better job taking care of the basketball.
Aggies 37% three-point shooting team on the year. That is top 30 in the country. But today they are at 23%.
And Vandy with only 9 turnovers, and they've not all been live ball where they go the other way.
Yeah, Aggies force over 14 turnovers per game, second best number in the conference.
And remember what Mark Byington told his team yesterday in practice. If you make a play, if it doesn't work out, move on.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of things happen in a game against like A&M. Just move on. Move on to the next play. The value of having Okereke at 6'7", to be able, a guy that can handle the ball out front, do some things, very valuable.
Here is Okereke. Kicks it out to Tanner for 3. That won't drop, and a foul. That's going to go against Devin McLaughlin, I believe. And for McLaughlin, that'll be his 3rd.
I kind of thought Tanner would knock that one in. Had a tough ball game, had an open look.
Yeah, 4 points for Tanner today. 4 assists, 3 rebounds. A young man that had been on a tear, as they like to say, the young kids. He's been on a heater lately. But struggling offensively today. Tanner double teamed. Up ahead, big. He knows what to do with it.
What happens when a point guard can get around a defender? His eyes are up the floor. Much different.
There goes Josh Holloway. Kisses that one off the backboard.
Pretty good little stiff arm.
Nickel. Okereke. Being catch and shoot.
Boy, you didn't need that at 18 seconds of the shot clock.
Mark Byington's reaction to that shot pretty much summed it up.
Young player, you got to understand score and time.
Holloway spins, short, rebound to Nickel. 2 minutes to play. 12-point game. Tyler Nickel kicks it out. Bing this time will not attempt the shot.
All of Memorial Gymnasium
was telling him, don't shoot. Right, nothing personal, but don't shoot it. Bing with 11 points, though, ties his career high. Okereke will take the 3. Timeout, Texas A&M with 91 seconds. And that may have just been the backbreaker.
What a perfect possession again. Tanner almost lost it. They got it back. A.K. Okereke, who does a variety of things for this Vanderbilt team. Offensively, defensively, and this time delivers from deep in that right corner.
A young man who started his college career as a walk-on at Cornell, who winds up being their best player by the time he left Cornell and after 3 years there, with a degree in hand, and is now at Vanderbilt and a big part of this entire Commodore operation. A season high for A.K. Okereke. Here's what he's done today.
Well, we mentioned a wide variety of things he can do with it. Off the bounce, he can score, he can face up and shoot it. 19 points, 2 of 4 beyond the three-point line. He's been physical, he's been tough. And remember, Dave, he had to handle a lot of the pressure when Tyler Tanner got in foul trouble. And against an aggressive A&M team, he didn't turn it over, handled the basketball, and has had an unbelievable afternoon in the Vandy uniform.
Okereke with 19, a high for him. Being has a season high of 17 today. Hill is leading the way with 20 points for A&M. Their only player in double figures. Meanwhile, the Commodores have 4 in double figures. Isaacs.
Good defense by Vandy. See, again, you're going for a quick hitter. You've got to get something as quickly as you can. Vanderbilt switching everything, talking to each other, and then challenging, and the active hands takes much too long to get into it.
Isaacs with fire for 3, and he's got it. Pop Isaacs knocking home that 3. Timeout, Aggies. Isaacs now with 8 points and a couple of threes.
And come off shooting. No hesitation. Take the step. The defender there just a bit late. But Chandler Bing made a smart play by not fouling the jump shooter. Remember, Vanderbilt is a 79% free throw shooting team in conference play. That leads the league. They're very comfortable getting to the foul line. They've got a number of guys that handle the basketball, do not mind getting a foul, do not mind the pressure down the stretch of delivery.
This Vanderbilt team started the year 16-0, which matched the school record for best start, coming off an 84-76 win against Auburn, and a very impressive performance, especially after that tough loss to Oklahoma.
And you take the wins, the St. Mary's team was a team that beat them. Yep. Beat Vanderbilt in the first round of the NCAA last year.
Got a little payback this year. Tanner.
Nice to have a press breaker.
Okereke tied up by Isaacs. There's going to be a foul on Pop.
Well, Isaacs thought, and it was close, that he had jump ball. Okereke's got a chance to go over 20. Got 19 on the afternoon.
His previous high coming into this game was 17 twice against South Carolina and Ole Miss. Just 7 points in his last game, but has been an offensive machine today with 20 points.
And you want to see someone that's comfortable at the free throw line. I hope I don't jinx him, but take a look when he gets the ball, just one bounce, and it's a smooth shot.
I like how you preface it like, I hope I don't jinx it.
I mean, I understand this. Watch this.
Boom and boom.
Not a lot of knee bend because you don't need a lot of knee bend. Make it simple.
13 this half for A.K. Okereke. Under a minute to go.
Got to have threes and a bunch of them.
Lane trying to find a little bit of room and decides to take it inside and bat it out, chased down by Isaacs. Loose ball on the deck. And a quick foul by Isaacs.
Well, terrific hustle defensively, and let's give, again, Chandler Bing has had a lot of minutes this afternoon. He's delivered both offensively and defensively. He's been out there under pressure. Tyler Tanner was out. Bing had to do a lot of things, and good for that young man.
Commodores with 4 players in double figures, led by Nichols, 25, behind 5 three-pointer for Tyler. His 15th game this year with 3 or more three-pointers, and his 6th game with 5 or more three-pointers this year. And then right on his heels is Okereke with 21. Bing gives you 11, and McLaughlin with 17.
Well, and it says something about Vanderbilt that they're not relying on Tyler Tanner. Tanner doesn't have to play a great game for Vanderbilt to win. He only has 4 points, 2 of 10 from the field this afternoon.
But, you know, not that it matters in the whole big picture, but certainly he probably thinking about it. He scored double figures. Tyler Tanner has scored double figures every game this season. Don't think he's going to get there today. sounds like Tyler Nickel and A.K. Okereke to help you out. Makes the landing a little bit softer. By the way, it's interesting talking to Mark Byington about Tyler Nickel and his three-point shooting. I said, do you have a green light? Does he have green light no matter what? And he says, I give him 2 bad shots a game. He's the only one on my roster that I say, I'll give you 2 bad ones, which helps him with his confidence. Like, feel free, let it go.
And he has, and this afternoon he's been fabulous.
Here's Lane. Gets a little bit of room and knocks it home. Bucky McMillan says, somebody foul, and Pop Isaacs will be the one who gets whistled for the foul with 19.6 seconds to go. I know the crowd booing here, but Bucky McMillan, if folks that don't know him, there isn't an off switch in there.
I enjoyed our conversation with him. I liked how he coaches. He's been successful at every level, and he's had great success this season. Now they've run into a little bit of the SEC buzzsaw, right? Now this will be the 4th loss in a row. You go back, you regroup, and get ready again. Now you got Ole Miss coming into College Station this week, and that's not easy either.
Well, from an analytical standpoint, this loss certainly won't hurt them in numbers-wise. Yeah, obviously you want to win games, but on the road here at Vanderbilt, they come in as a number 43 ranking in the net as a 9 seed. But Vanderbilt will win this one. They will go to 21-4, 8-4 in the league. Texas A&M drops to 17-8, 7-5. Commodores have now won 5 of 6 after that 3-game skid.
Dave, I thought the key to the game was when Tyler Tanner went out in the second half and they still maintained a 10 to 12 point lead.
Yeah.
When he was out, his teammates did a fabulous job.
Good balance from Vanderbilt. Aggies head back home, regroup, try to get it cranked up again and get back in this race. Good night to be a Commodore. 82-69. Vanderbilt wins it. So for John Sunvold, the rest of our exceptional SEC Network crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long for the Music City. Vanderbilt, big win over the Aggies. Time to get you to the studio. PB, it's all yours.